Bonds was criticized for wanting a personal photographer at spring training. Now, Colin Kaepernick, he's being championed by many of the same media who criticized Bonds for demanding, yes, that Kaepernick himself have his own photographer to record his workout last Saturday. Hi, I'm Marky Bilson. Here's the thing. Obviously, Colin Kaepernick doesn't trust the National Football League, and the feeling is mutual. And no matter what you think of his politics, no matter what you think of his skills, that's what's going to destroy his attempt to get back into the NFL. If you don't trust your employer, it's just not going to work out. But just going back to Barry Bonds, now in 1991, when Bonds was still with the Pirates, he had lost 2 salary arbitration cases to the Bucs, and there wasn't a whole lot of goodwill between team, town, and player. I look back at this. I got the story off the internet. Barry Bonds in 1992 signed for $7 million a year with the San Francisco Giants, which today seems like a modest amount of money, but that's what he signed with. He was trying to get $4 million a year from the Pirates after an MVP year. I mean, that really does seem now to be like a very reasonable request, to tell you the truth. And, small market baseball, the Pirates don't have exactly a great reputation as big spenders. And where's it gotten them? Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Bonds here. If you go back, and by the way, I want to point this out. One of the photographers that was shooting him in spring training, that wasn't his personal one, was a guy named Jim Lachima, who I once worked for. I wrote stories in the Pittsburgh Pirates program on the 1979 World Champion Buccos, the We Are Family team, for their 25th anniversary in the 2004 program. I liked Jim Lachima. I didn't like Barry Bonds, mouthing off to Lachima, that sort of thing. But here was the beef, okay? There were some bad blood between Bonds and the Pittsburgh print media. And Bonds said, just because I didn't want to talk to the media, and that was my choice, they said, neither can your friend take pictures of you. Bonds, as I looked through this, then had to endure the wrath of his manager, who ran over a couple of ball fields away. This was Jim Leland. And he said, I don't give a damn what his Bonds' problems are. He's not going to run this camp. He can just go home. Now, if we look at this, there is a parallel to the Kaepernick situation in the workout here. I don't give a damn what Kaepernick's problems are. He's not going to run this camp. He can just have his own. That is the feeling. Now, remember how champion Jim Leland was. Personally, I think that's where the demise of the Pittsburgh Pirates started. Look, if you're going to publicly humiliate your superstar, you're going to kiss him off. And frankly, something like this is best done in private, away from media who already wanted to make Bonds out to be a villain, and that certainly was going to escalate that campaign, and it ruined the Pirates franchise. What have they done since Barry Bonds left them in 1992? But right now, this is exactly what's going on with Kaepernick and the NFL. They don't trust each other. The NFL is, okay, look, fine, we'll give you the workout, here, see what you can do and all this. And then there's the nitpicking of it. There's just this mutual distrust, rightly or wrongly on both sides. And it's just not going to work out. Let's also face this fact. The reason why Kaepernick is getting this tryout is not because 7 years ago he took the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. Actually, that's debatable, because he took over in mid-season from Alex Smith, who had a better record with the 49ers the year before. They were 13-3 that year. They were 12-4 the year Kaepernick played in the Super Bowl against the Ravens. When it became crunch time, the last minute, ball inside the 10, touchdown or bust, Kaepernick eyeballed Michael Crabtree, couldn't get the ball to him. At that part of the field, you can't be the scrambler. I've always said Kaepernick has one skill set. It's his scrambling ability, and it's not going to get better as he grows older. I hate quarterbacks who take off and run every chance they get, and that was Kaepernick, in my opinion. I've been hearing, well, he's one of the top 100 quarterbacks still in the NFL. Really? One sports writer I saw was championing that, Colin Kaepernick is better than Mason Rudolph, the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a horrible game against the Cleveland Browns. 4 interceptions, you know all about Myles Garrett hitting him in the head with the helmet and blah, blah, blah. 21-7 loss to the Cleveland Browns. Okay, but let me just put it this way. Mason Rudolph this year started now 7 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In those 7 games, he's put up 24 or more points 3 times. Colin Kaepernick, in 11 starts in 2016, put up 24 points once. And by the way, he had 2 oh-by-the-way scores in that game to be able to get to 24 points. Well, he didn't have any weapons. The 49ers got rid of all his good players. Oh, you mean like the Steelers have gotten rid of Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, and we're down to a 3rd-string running back against the Colts? And yeah, you know what I mean? Come on now. And as we look at this, you've got to say this. Colin Kaepernick is getting a tryout for one reason, and one reason only. His career dropped like a brick. He was put into a situation on a good team. He was kind of, the change-up pitcher and all that. He was able to scramble to some success and all that. But ultimately, when push came to shove, couldn't win the Super Bowl for the 49ers, and after that, his career just dropped like a brick. I know a lot of people talk about, well, the 16-4 touchdown interception ratio, that's all they got in his final year. And although I don't really want to dismiss this, let's also not dismiss this. Worst rated quarterback from the pocket. That speaks of a lack of a skill set. That speaks of being all legs. And the people that did attend his own workout, they say, well, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as if we've got to sign this person. And Tony Dungy had something very interesting to say Sunday night where, I wanted to hear from this guy. Does he want to play football? I want to talk to him one-on-one. And that wasn't, there's such distrust. It's just not going to work out. There's got to be good communication, I know this better than anyone, between labor and employer. And also remember this, he's going to be sitting on a bench. Nobody's signing Colin Kaepernick to start right now, and nor should they. If he was good enough to start in 2017, they would have signed him right then. But, they'll sign Michael Vick coming out of jail. But 1 in 10, worst-rated quarterback in the pocket, career dropping like a brick. That doesn't seem to me to be the recipe for success. Not at all. Just one last thing. We're giving, the people that want to champion Colin Kaepernick, they're talking about what he did 7 years ago. Okay. You know what that's like? That's like saying that Pedro Alvarez, who want to talk about people with one skill set, Pedro Alvarez, 2013 home run champion for the Pittsburgh Pirates, now out of baseball. Why? One skill set. Where is the championing for Pedro Alvarez, who more recently dominated his sport to get back into the major leagues? Oh yeah, there isn't any. He's not a political icon. The reason why Colin Kaepernick got a tryout, he knelt for the anthem. That's the only reason. I'm Marky Bilson.